put prisons under the tree? And what do you do when you put them down?
Put them down?
Yeah.
You're talking about.
Roll it?
You said that when we bend down, you're
bowing to it.
We're worshiping. So every time that you bow, you're worshiping.
No, so
it's your position that every time you bow, whenever you bow, you're worshiping somebody.
Alex,
if I bow to you, am I worshiping you?
This is not a debate.
You're saying things that are false.
Let me clarify that. Let me clarify.
Just because if I stumble by accident in front of you, am I worshiping you?
Let me clarify.
Okay, clarify, please.
So our people don't know that they're worshiping these things.
Right.
Because when you look at the
here's the problem with that though.
You're interrupting me.
Okay, go ahead.
When you look at the Genesis, where that came from, right? And you ever read a book called Babylon?
Yeah, that book is bullshit. That book is completely false. That book has been disproven. No, there isn't a single scholar in the world today that calls that book, that says that book is credible. That's not a credible book. There's no sources to it. There are no footnotes. The two Babylons came from Alexander Hislop, and it's false. That book has been proven false already. Everything that he says in that book is made up. Alexander Hislop's book, The Two Babylons, he made it up.
I know you're doing this for the camera.
He made it up. No, I'm doing it because I love you guys. Because I love you guys.
He's going to deal with Romans 10.
Okay, yeah, let's talk about Romans 10.
Give him verse.
A few moments ago.
We don't have anyone.
And
Jews. What Jews? You talking about the fake Jews that's over there bombing and damn near depleted a whole nation of people? Those are not Jews. Those are not Jews. Those are the synagogue of Satan.
That's right. How do you know that?
The Bible says it. Watch this.
All right.
It's the book of Revelation, chapter 2, verse 9. I know thy works and tribulation and poverty. So, he said he knows our works, tribulation, and poverty. Are those people in poverty?
Jews?
Yeah.
Nope.
Absolutely. So that means he ain't talking about them. Read on. But thou art rich, and I know the blasphemy of them which say they are Jews. He said, I know the lies of those who say they are Jews. Read. And are not, and they are not. Read. But are the synagogue of Satan. Who are they? The synagogue of Satan. They're the synagogue of Satan, the church of the damn devil.
That's right.
That's who that is. Them ain't Jews. And guess what? They run everything. They run television. They run the banking system. They run everything. They get paid millions of dollars every year for the little, 6 million of them that Hitler did, whatever he did to them. What has the Native American got? What, a little $4,000 check every month? And forced on a,
they don't get that.
They don't even get that.
Hell.
They don't even get that.
Yeah.
So what do they get? A casino put on their land to where they can damn near be promised employment? What does the African American get? What do the Mexicans get? Nothing.
Yeah.
Everybody else gets.
Yeah.
Even when what happened with the Chinese people like 2 years ago, I think, when I guess a couple of them got killed here, and then Biden came and made some type of law for Asian hate. Why didn't we get that? Why didn't the Hispanics get that?
Right.
Why didn't Native Americans get that? Why don't black people get that? You know how many black people have been killed and shot down in the street like animals? Right there on TV, and Biden ain't step up for that. Look at this homelessness we got.
Yeah.
That man sends billions of dollars to Ukraine, but we have people in right here on this nation that he's supposed to be a representative of that are sitting here struggling and ain't sent them a damn dollar.
Right. So in Revelation.
But first, I want to go back and deal with what we were dealing with.
Okay.
Because you tried to say something about Slavs or something. And you said everybody went through slavery, which might be true. Everybody might have had their people raped, which might be true. But only people that have not been redeemed or saved from the atrocities that were put on them are the Israelites, the so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans.
Right. Daniel's 9:11.
Daniel's 9:11. Watch this. It's all in the Bible. Daniel 9:11. Read. The book of Daniel, chapter 9, verse 11. Hey, all Israel have transgressed thy law. All Israel have transgressed thy law. He's only concerned with Israel. Right. Meaning, all Israel have stolen, rape, pillage, or whatever. You know what I mean? All Israel have sinned.
Adultery,
all of that. What about the other nations? Have they killed? They killed people, and is anything happening to them? No, ain't nothing happening to them. Nothing. They continue to do it. Read on. Wait a minute. Let me finish this. All Israel has sinned, read, even by departing, that they might not obey thy voice. Therefore, the curse is poured upon us. So it's talking about Israel departing from the voice of God, the laws of God. Israel did. He ain't talking about everybody else. Read. And the oath that is written in the law of Moses, the servant of God, because we have sinned against him. Israel has sinned against him, read. And he hath confirmed his word, which he spake against us, and against our judges that judged us, by bringing upon us a great evil. For under the whole heaven, everywhere, the whole earth, what about the whole heaven? Hath not been done as hath been done upon Jerusalem.
bring it out.
God just said that ain't nothing happened to nobody as worse as what's happened to these people here.
That's right.
There's these people that's on this list, and we reading the Bible. That ain't even me going and doing whatever, Googling or anything. I'm coming straight out of this Bible.
Right.
They're saying that no one has suffered like the Israelites, the real Israelites, blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. No one has.
So, what do you do with Romans chapter 1, verse 19, where it says that God, the righteousness of God repays the unrighteousness of all? Not just
the precept. Remember we said precept of precept? Let's deal with Daniel 9:11. Because I'm going to show you, because when you hear that one thing you got to understand is that this Bible is only written to, for, and by Israel. So when you hear that word all, right away, a lot of our people like to include everybody. Oh, he said all, so that means the China man could come on in. That means the Arab man could come on in. That's not true.
Well, the book of Romans and Galatians incorporates Gentiles into the new covenant as well.
Bro, you bringing out some good stuff.
Yeah.
But watch this.
Start from verse 7.
Let's start from verse 7, Romans 1:7. Watch this.
Yes.
Read. Romans 1:7. Watch this. Come on. The book of Romans, chapter 1 and verse 7.
I know.
To all that be born in Rome, beloved of God. To all that be in Rome, the beloved of God. Who are the beloved of God?
God's people.
God's people. When you say that, you vague. Who? No. Hell no. Let me hold that. Hold where you at and go to Baruch 3:36. Precept must be upon precept. It's going to show. Wait a minute, brother. Hold on. I'm trying to answer your question. When you start going back and forth, I lose my thought, and then we just all over the place. So please, let's have some decor and stay in order. All right? Read. Book of Baruch, chapter 3, verse 36. He hath found out all the way of knowledge, and hath given it unto Jacob, his servant, and to Israel, his beloved. Who his beloved? Israel, his beloved. Now go back to Romans 1:7. Because precept must be upon precept. So the beloved is Israel, what we just read. Read. Romans chapter 1, verse 7. To all that be in Rome, beloved of God, called to be saints. Grace, who are the saints? You know what I want?
All Christians.
Saints. All Christians?
All Christians. Yeah.
So when you say all Christians, that's pretty vague. All Christians.
All who believe in
So who are the,
All who believe in and follow Jesus Christ.
All that believe and follow Jesus Christ?
Yeah.
What does it mean to believe?
To obey.
To obey and keep his commandments.
Right.
Okay. Now, we already proved earlier that the laws were given to Israel, right? The commandments, right?
Right.
So that's who he's talking about.
Yeah.
But what? Yeah, Israel.
Right.
Not everybody you talking about.
Well, Romans 1 actually holds all people accountable.
No, it doesn't.
Read verse 19, 18.
We gonna get to 19. We gonna get there.
18.
But at the end of the day, you have to go by context. We can't be out here cherry picking.
Read all of Romans.
We're not gonna read the whole chapter. We ain't got time for
The
that.
whole chapter in Romans 1 and 2, it's clear that Paul is addressing.
Okay, I got a couple questions for you.
Yeah.
When it talks about, you know where Rome is, right?
Yeah.
So Rome is in Italy, right?
Right, yeah.
So my question to you is, were there Israelites in Rome?
Yeah, there were Jews in Rome.
Yeah, so that's who Paul is talking to.
Uh-huh.
The people of the captivity.
Well, again, when you read Romans 1, in the whole book of Romans, he's writing to both Jews and Gentiles.
So when it comes to Jews and Gentiles, let's get that out of.
And he makes that clear in Romans 9.
Let's get that out of your head real quick, because what's getting you? What does Gentile mean? Can I get Zondervan real quick? Somebody? Yes, sir. Because wait a minute, hold on.
Yeah.
Because you think that Gentiles, when it says Gentiles, you're thinking that it's talking about
Non-Jews.
Non-Jews. And that's not true. That's not true. Because there was a time when our people were referred to as Gentiles.
Uh-huh.
You know what I mean? For living like Gentiles.
Uh-huh.
And I'm going to show you in the Bible.
Uh-huh.
Somebody got that? Okay. So watch this. Let's see what Gentiles is. This is a Zondervan Bible dictionary.
Yeah.
So this is where we get the meanings and the understanding of a lot of words that come out and we think we have the understanding of, but we don't.
Yeah, Gentile means one who dwells in the country.
Okay, let's see if it says that.
Yeah.
Read. This is a Zondervan Compact Bible Dictionary, page 195. Gentiles. Usually, it says usually. Does usually mean always?
No.
Sometimes, right?
Yeah.
So sometimes Gentiles what? Usually it means a non-Israelite people. Usually it means a non-Israelite people.
Yeah.
So it's letting you know that when it says Gentile, it's not only talking about the other nations. So when Paul is referring to Gentiles, he's not talking about other nations. He's talking about the people that were overcome and Hellenized by the Greeks and the Romans. They were Hellenized because there was a time when it was against the law to even keep God's laws.
Right.
So wait a minute, hold on. We got to deal with this.
Yeah.
Let me get that in.
Come pull up.
Let me get that in.
Pull up.
Let me get that in Maccabees.
Yeah.
Maccabees, where it says that we were not allowed to keep God's laws.
Yeah.
So watch this. This is why this is who, because this happened before Paul.
Right.
Maccabees, the Maccabean War, it happened before Paul.
Right.
So once Paul came on the scene, he had to come back and bring those people back to God's laws. The people that he's bringing back to God's laws are Israelites that were Hellenized. So when he says Gentiles, that's who he's talking about. He's not talking about the other nations.
Right.
Watch this. And this is where that stems from. Read. Book of 2 Maccabees, chapter 6, verse 8. Moreover, there went out a decree to the neighbor cities of the heathen. There went out a decree to the neighbor cities of the heathen, the other nations. That's another word for other nations. Read. By the suggestion of Ptolemy against the Jews, read, that they should observe the same fashions and be partakers of their sacrifice. Be partakers of their sacrifices. Now, if you read earlier, like in the first Maccabees, they were sacrificing pig and all that type of stuff, which is like unclean.
Right.
When they came and sacked Jerusalem, they were defiling the temple and everything.
Right.
So that's what it's talking about. Read. So that's when we were overcome. That's when we were downtrodden. Read. Verse 9. And whoso would not conform themselves to the manners of the Gentiles, he said, whatever Jews, whatever Israelites did not conform themselves to the manners of the Gentiles, because in this, the context of Gentiles is talking about the other nations. So it's saying, whichever Israelites did not conform themselves to the ways of the Gentiles, what will happen? Should be put to death. Right. So a lot of people they fear death. A lot of our people fear death.
Right.
So at the end of the day, a lot of our people died and stood on the laws because we're supposed to put the laws before our lives anyway. But a lot of our people went on and converted So those are the Gentiles that Paul's talking about.
Verse Maccabees 1 and 42.
First Maccabees 1 and 42. Watch this. Those are the Gentiles that Paul is talking about. He's not talking about everybody else. God never changed. He has only been for Israel, and he will always be only for Israel. He don't care about these other nations. So wait a minute. We're going to deal with something real quick. Okay. Read. Book of First Maccabees, chapter 1, verse 42. And everyone should leave his laws. It said everyone should leave his laws. This was in the beginning. This was in the beginning when the Grecians came and started conquering Jerusalem. Yeah. That's what happened. Read that part again. And everyone should leave his laws. So all the heathen agree according to the commandment of the king. Who was the king? The Grecian king. Right. Everybody agreed to that. Read. Verse 43, yea, many also of the Israelites consented to his religion. So many of the Israelites consented to the king's religion, the Gentile way. It's talking about Israel. Okay? So that is who Paul is referring to. Read on. And sacrificed unto idols. Sacrificed unto idols. Those were the ways of the Grecians. Those are the ways that our people were compelled to follow. That's what it's talking about. Read. And profane the Sabbath. Profane the Sabbath. Profane the Sabbath, meaning they did everything they weren't supposed to do. They were forced to cook on the Sabbath. They were forced not to keep and observe the Sabbath. Wow. Our people was. Right. By the Grecians. Right. Meaning, in other words, our people were Hellenized by those people. Right. So that's why Paul referred to our people as Gentiles, who the Zondervan Bible Dictionary said usually, meaning not all the time, okay, but usually, in other words, sometimes it's talking about the other nations.
Shalom, Israel. This is Bishop Nathaniel. I want you to know that you can view all our Sabbath classes live on IUIC TV. That's right, I said on IUIC TV. Download the app today. Shalom.
What is a nation? Nation is men leading by example. Nation is family.